It is not the first time Hamas and Israel have been at each other's throat. It has happened some 12 times in the last 36 years. One was as recently as in 2021, which left 266 Palestinians dead, including 66 children. But something doesn't seem right here, as if Israel almost ensured that Hamas attacked. And if this hypothesis is correct, what is the bigger picture we all are missing? Welcome to WiseHeads, your geopolitical show like none else. I am your host, Ashish Shukla. Everyone is disturbed by the horrific images, first of innocent Israelis and then of Palestinians, filling your mainstream and social media. First, on October 7th, the day when Jews were celebrating Sukkot festival and the victory over Egypt 50 years ago in the Yom Kippur War in 1973, Hamas entered the border towns of Israel and ran rampant. People were killed, kidnapped, and the horrific images of innocent Israeli civilians fleeing filled our screens. Yet a few things didn't appear right. Now, Gaza is an open land. How come hundreds of Hamas fighters could converge on Israeli borders and yet went undetected? Where were the celebrated Israeli patrols, cameras, ground motion detectors, and remote-controlled weapons? Where were Israeli defense forces? Where was the much-wanted air defense of Israel? The advanced surveillance technologies which we Indians are so familiar with the Pegasus spyware episode. That a GCB tractor could pull down the border wall, Hamas fighters, even without guns, walking past Israeli military posts, taking selfies and killing hundreds as if it was a picnic. That an iconic fighting machine of Israel bowed to some homemade hang gliders powered by lawn-mower engines and box fans. The Israeli defense was that their surveillance system was jammed by the Iranians. But did the Iranians also stop Israeli defense forces from swinging into action? Whatever happened to Mossad, the Israeli police, the security agencies, and the Israeli army? Are we to believe that Israel's border towns were utterly defenseless? A former Israeli Defense Forces spokesperson said that Hamas attack was the Pearl Harbor moment for the country. Now, Pearl Harbor, most of us know, it was the event which brought United States into the Second World War. Japan had attacked the naval base of the United States in Honolulu, Hawaii, killing over 2,000 Americans and wounding over 1,000 others. The Americans had known this attack was coming, yet they ignored the intelligence. The resulting disaster made it easy for them to sell the war to the Congress and the people. The US entered the Second World War next day and it changed the history. It made US the superpower it is and gave them the trophy we call the world. The same is the skepticism around the 9/11 event. I mean, how could some dozen and a half hijackers could hoodwink the sophisticated surveillance system of world's mightiest power and cause the havoc they did? Like Pearl Harbor, 9/11 was the excuse which the United States needed to destroy Iraq and invade Afghanistan. So what could be the goals of concerned parties in this present horror in Middle East? The intention of Hamas is easy to understand. They have been upset with the developing friendly relations between the Arabs and Israel. If Arabs are not with the Palestinians, the latter is left without any mooring. Israel is also easy to understand. They want to finish the Hamas once for all and take away whatever little is left of Palestine. This development is music to ears of the United States, of course. The US realizes it's not winning the war in Ukraine. It also can't pull out of Ukraine without a loss of face. Another war in a different theater would take away the attention from Ukraine, and it would be easy for the United States to get away from the hapless situation in Kyiv. Besides, the growing peace moves in Middle East utterly concern the United States. If Saudi Arabia and Iran get friendly, if Syria is welcomed by the Arab League, if China is the new mediator in the town, if the control on oil goes, as does the supremacy of petrodollar. If Egypt, UAE, and Saudi Arabia are joining the BRICS and promoting multipolarity, it is a body blow to the United States. They need Middle East as much as they do the vassalage of Europe. If the Middle East is peaceful and oil is gone from its control, the supremacy of dollar would be over. Thus, it serves the United States to have anarchy in Middle East, and if the nations are always fighting each other. What was the provocation for Hamas to do what it did on October 7? Well, Hamas named their operation as Al-Aqsa Flood. Now, Al-Aqsa refers to Al-Aqsa Mosque in East Jerusalem, which is the third holiest shrine for Muslims after Mecca and Medina. After the 1948 Israel-Arab War, the Israel occupied the West Jerusalem. The East Jerusalem was with the Palestinians, but the 1967 Israel-Egypt war gave the East Jerusalem to Israel too. East Jerusalem is also important to Israel, for it contains the old city where the Temple Mount is situated, the holiest shrine of Jews. Now, the Al-Aqsa Mosque overlooks the western wall of Temple Mount. The 1980 Jewish law states that non-Muslims are not allowed to visit the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Yet we have countless incidents when Jews ignore the stipulation and desecrate the Al-Aqsa Mosque. They forcibly visit the Al-Aqsa Mosque and try to perform the Talmudic rites, which greatly upsets the Palestinians. Quite a few Palestinian intifadas or uprisings happened because of religious breach by the Jews. On October 4, just before this Hamas uprising, the Jews had once again desecrated the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Now, the question is, what would happen? Well, the Palestinians have a hell unfolding for them by the Israelis. Palestinians would lose whatever is left for them. It would be like ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. The United Nations, which recognizes the East Jerusalem as Palestinian territory, would do nothing. The turmoil in Middle East is one thing. The major concern is if it would morph into an Israel-Iran war. It would suit the West and upset the likes of China, Russia, and India, who are looking to integrate this region with transport corridors. The US could only flourish if Eurasia burns, be it Ukraine or Middle East. The only way this could be avoided is if they have a fire right in their door, for it's difficult to counter a rogue with reason. If one doesn't follow any rules and norms, it is impossible your rules and norms would matter. That's all in today's edition of WiseHeads. Hope you liked it, and if you did, please subscribe to our channel. We meet soon with another burning geopolitical issue of the day. Till then, it's your host Ashish Shukla bidding you goodbye, good luck, and look after self.